Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin. It's good to be here with you. Now, how do narcissistic people respond when somebody close to them dies? Well, it should be of no surprise to you that narcissistic people exploit even people who have died. That's right, we're going to look at the sick and twisted way in which narcissistic people honor the dead, but not for the sake of honoring the dead. They do it for the sake of supply. Let's talk. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I get into this message about the sick and twisted mindset that narcissistic people have towards honoring people who have died, let me remind you that I am here to support you. Down in the description box right below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I do take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. Also, The Royal We does have a private membership available for you where you can get daily live support from me with a growing community of people from all over the world. I have fellowship once a week, Zoom classes once a week. There's a workout program, so much more. Get on the path of healing. Join the Royal We private membership down in the description box. If you're having a hard time finding the description box, simply look right below this video where it says more and there's some dots. Click on that. It will open up the description box. All the resources are available down there for you. Now, the sick and twisted mindset of narcissistic people when it comes to honoring the dead. How do they view somebody who has died that they have known in their life? Well, the answer to this is going to shock you, and it might even disgust you. But then again, we're talking about narcissistic people here. We're talking about how they view the world. We're talking about how everything is orchestrated and done in a strategic manner that makes the narcissistic person look good. It is all about supply. And when it comes to a narcissistic person gaining supply, nothing is off limits, not even the dead. Now, what you'll notice with narcissistic people, we're going to talk about what this looks like first, and then we're going to talk about the reasons why narcissistic people do this and why they get away with it. When it comes to somebody dying, doesn't matter how close they were to the narcissistic person. It could have been a friend or a friend of a friend, or it could have been a family member. And it also doesn't really matter what the relationship was truly like between them. Now, as we know with narcissistic people, their relationships for the most part are very strained relationships. Any relationship with a narcissistic person is not a relationship of closeness and intimacy. It does not matter what you think about the narcissistic family members that you have or the exes that you have. I know you might be saying, Kevin, the narcissists that I know have lots of deep, really meaningful relationships. No, I promise you, they don't. Any relationship a narcissistic person has is shallow at best. They are not capable of deep, intimate relationships. So yes, you may see them having core people that they hang out with, maybe packs, they run around in their little wolf pack or whatever, but I promise you, it is a shallow-based relationship that's based off of some common mutual interests, like maybe getting drunk together or partying together or whoring themselves off together or beating people up together, or whatever that narcissistic person is into. But there's no deep meaningful connection, right? The extent that you have experienced intimacy with the narcissist is the extent of which they're capable of intimacy or friendship for that matter. Okay, that being said, when somebody that the narcissistic person knows has died, it gives them an opportunity to suddenly be able to make statements or express something that didn't even really exist, most likely. So, for example, if a family member, an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent of a narcissistic person passes away, you're likely to see that narcissistic person suddenly make all of these statements and soft, kind-sounding claims like, I'll never forget. You'll see the narcissistic person maybe make social media posts or make statements somehow saying, I'll never forget how, the amazing amount of time that we spent and what this person meant to me in my life. And I'll never forget our long conversations that we had, and nobody understood me like this person. I'll always miss them. There will now forever be a void in my life, and I don't know if I'll ever again have the deep connection and the conversations as I did with this person. Now, it doesn't even have to be a family member, a grandparent, right? And by the way, like I said, it's baloney. Chances are the narcissistic person, even with their own grandparent or whatever, whomever, relative, cousin, aunt, uncle, didn't have ever these long, lengthy, intimate discussions because, once again, narcissists aren't capable of that. I came across a narcissistic person, one of the in-laws that I was dealing with, that used to make these wild posts about a friend or somebody, a friend of a friend or somebody who passed away too young. And I was almost bought into the dialogue on this social media post. This on and on and on about, oh, this person gone too soon. I'll never forget the times that we shared, the long conversations, sitting up all night, and the conversations that we would have, and which were so meaningful and so deep. And I was left scratching my head saying, wait a minute, no, I know you. I know this person. You don't have any deep conversations with anybody. The depth of this person's conversations who wrote this is yelling and screaming and cussing and calling people names. There's no depth to that. There is no intimacy to that. And so immediately I was saddened that somebody that they knew, a friend of a friend of a friend, passed away. But at the same time, I was met with, what a load of garbage. If this person is real, this person who's capable of sitting and having long, deep conversations, if this person's real, then why isn't it visible in real life, in real time with real people? Why is it only written about on somebody's timeline who has passed away? And now this is where we're going to get into why narcissistic people do this and why they're able to get away with it. So what I've discovered is that with narcissists, the reason they carry on and make these grand statements about somebody who's passed away, whether it's a family member or a friend who has passed away too soon, the reason they are making these comments, the reason they're making these posts, the reason they're being so sweet and heartfelt towards somebody who's died is, well, in a sad, sick, and twisted way, the narcissist is gaining supply. A narcissistic person does not honor the dead for the sake of honoring the dead, because there's no honor in it for the dead. How many of you think that the dead needs honor? They're dead. They gain nothing from it. A dead person gains absolutely nothing from the heartfelt messages that somebody puts on Facebook or says publicly to other people. The dead gains nothing from it. But who does gain from it? Think about this for a moment. Who gains from it? Who gains from sitting there talking about a dead person in such a loving, kind way? Well, the one who's talking does. That's right. You see, what narcissistic people have figured out in this life, being 3 steps ahead of most other people because of in their animalistic, in evil, they're 3 steps ahead of evil. Right? Narcissists are typically a few steps ahead of the devil, so to speak, or right behind him, right? They're riding his coattails. And what they've discovered is that they can talk about people who have died, and wow, what a form of supply, because all of the comments about that go where? Does it go to the person who's dead? No. All of the supportive comments go where? To the narcissist. That's right. The narcissistic person who is making these stories, and they're probably fabricated. Oh, I remember all the conversations and oh, the love we shared and all this and that, making all these proclamations of stuff that probably isn't true. They probably never had a single deep conversation with that person, but it doesn't matter because they're making that statement so that people can comment back, oh, I love this post. I love what you're saying about that person. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Oh, it sounds like you had this great relationship. It sounds like you all connected so deeply. What a beautiful post. This is typically what they get. That is such a beautiful post you made. That's such a beautiful expression you made. Oh, if that person was here to listen to that, they would love that. Oh, I can tell. What a great friend you are. What a great granddaughter. What a great grandson you are. They're getting all the supply. The narcissistic person is using a dead person to gain supply. It's a form of virtue signaling. It's really not about bringing honor to the dead. It's about them saying, look at how sweet I am. Okay? Look at the comments that I'm making about this person that died. Now watch this. This is another reason why they're able to do it, and it's why they get away with it. You see, for a narcissistic person, it's a great deal for them to be able to honor and talk about somebody's dead, who's dead, because they don't have to be accountable. They do not have to be accountable. Now, many people, myself included, will say, well, it doesn't sound right. Why is this narcissist making all these great loving gestures and comments towards somebody who's died? But listen, I'm alive and we're in each other's life, and all I get is called names. All I get is negativity. All I've seen from this person is negativity. Well, that's not fair. What, you have to die to be able to be talked about in a good way by a narcissist? Well, the truth is that the reason narcissists choose dead people to talk good about is because there's no accountability. They don't have to be accountable for it. I mean, who's going to argue with them? It's not like the dead person's going to come back alive and say, "You liar, we've never had a deep conversation." So there's no accountability, which means the narcissist can make up any story they want to. They can portray that relationship with that dead person any way they want. And they don't have to follow up with it. So a narcissistic person can say, "Oh, the love I had for this person was so great, was so strong," and they don't have to back it up. The narcissist doesn't actually have to demonstrate love. It's not like they have to get in their car and go visit the person anymore. They don't have to pick up the phone and call the person anymore because the person's dead. The person no longer exists. So a narcissistic person is able to use it as a sign of how loving they are without having to have an accountable relationship where they have to demonstrate their love. So you and I in the past have bought into this idea that them talking about somebody who died is them being accountable for expressing their love. No, it's not. It's taking a cheap way out of talking about a love that they don't even have without having to be accountable for it. It's the perfect opportunity for a narcissistic person to use their gift of gab to create this fake version of love, to create this fantasy of love that they were in and not have to be accountable, not have to put forth any effort into it. And by the way, that's what narcissists want. They want a love where they don't have to put any energy into it. Narcissists don't want to be in relationships where they're accountable to be kind, accountable to be fair, accountable to be just. Narcissists want relationships where they can just say that they love the person but never have to do anything. So if you think about it, the perfect relationship for a narcissist is somebody who's dead, because that's a person. A dead person is someone or something that can give narcissists supply. So the world looks at the narcissist, and it's also a relationship in which the narcissist doesn't have to follow up any claims with any accountability or any action. They don't have to demonstrate how much they love the person because the person's dead. So it's a way for narcissists to just run their mouths. Now, for this reason, I'm going to bring up a scripture, and I hope this resonates with you. The Bible says, Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead." And I'm going to apply this to narcissistic people. Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead. You follow me." Let's move towards life. All right? Pay no attention to narcissists and how they talk about dead people, whether it's their dead grandma on their post or their dead family members or a dead friend or whatever. In fact, the longer of these blurbs about somebody who has died and how great and tight their relationship was, I would raise an eyebrow at that. Why is this person, wow, this person's really honoring the relationship with this person who died. I get it if it happens, if it's your father, your mother, or your really close friend and they just passed away and you want to make one statement about that, I get it. But to have a repetitive every year, oh, this is the anniversary of so-and-so who died, right? This is the anniversary of when they passed away, and oh, I'll always still, listen, you don't need to have anniversaries for people who have died. The only people I would say who have anniversaries and write this stuff, people either A, they really have not figured out how to move on, or B, they're using it for supply. They're using it to garner attention to themselves. Narcissists do that to garner attention for themselves. Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead." follow life. You want to be able to see how people treat people in real time, not how they talk about dead people. That doesn't mean anything. Narcissists want to live in a world where they want to honor the dead, let them honor the dead. You pay attention to how people treat each other in the real world. And if there is a discrepancy, if you come across somebody who's saying all these beautiful things about somebody who's died a long time ago, yet they're treating you like garbage, well, let that be all you need to know about who they are. They are, in fact, a narcissistic person. They're not talking about the dead because they really want to bring honor to the dead. They're talking about the dead because it brings the narcissist glory. It gives them supply. There is no reason for us to be kinder to people who have died than to people in real life. And this is why Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. There's no reason why a narcissistic person that you know should say kinder things about a dead person than they're saying about you. After all, you're still living. You're still in their life. This is what threw me off about the narcissistic in-laws. Watching them and observing them write these things about people who are dead and don't exist anymore while treating people in their actual life like garbage makes no sense. They're giving more honor to people who have died than people who are alive. Yeah, this is where I've come up with this concept, and it makes sense that it's because it has nothing to do with the person who died. They are honoring and they're bringing supply to themselves. It is all about themselves. It is a sick and twisted, delusional way to garner supply and to create this fantasy of them being this good, loving person, having these memories that probably didn't even exist, making up a story. It's a perfect way of making up a story of their deep conversations, because at the end of the day, who's going to question it? Narcissists are all about making up stories that nobody can question. This is how they gain control. And using dead people is a way for narcissists to do this. It's very sad. It's very sick. But again, we're talking about narcissistic people. As I mentioned to you before, if you're stuck in this place, maybe you have a narcissistic person in your life and you haven't been able to understand why they are talking and so kindly about people who have passed away, but they're treating you like garbage. I hope this video connects with you, helps you to understand more of the desperate need for supply that narcissists have and just how gross they are. And I am here to support you. Down below in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. Telephone calls are available through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. Also, the Rowie does have a private membership available. So head on down to the description box, get started. I would love to see you. If you're brand new to the Royal We, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button and the bell notification. You don't want to miss any future Rowie content. Check out one of these videos brought to you by the Royal We algorithm, and I'll be back with more right here on the Royal We. Bye.